Alrighty folks, well, now that the blade is cooled down, I went ahead and went inside and traced around the outside edge here and used that to develop my actual pattern for what the finalized knife is going to look like. And off of that I traced a pattern that will actually go on the blade and trace around that, and then I'll grind away everything else on the blade till I have a profile that matches my little template here. As you can see, this is my current everyday carry knife. You can see it's got about an extra ½ inch blade length, which is just enough to make a difference legally, I guess. So like I said, this technically, according to my understanding of the law, should be a legal knife to carry so long as it's not concealed, but like I said, I don't want to take any chances or risks, so gives me an excuse to make myself another knife, since just about all the other knives that I produce end up getting sold. So it's a rare thing for me to actually make a knife for myself. So this little simple kind of design, as you can tell, a little bit stockier blade and stockier handle than my previous everyday carry, but should make a nice little user. I think I'll go ahead and put a clip on the spine here, just for something different. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is trace my pattern onto my blade here and rough grind in this profile. Alrighty, so I've got a Norton Blaze 50 grit belt here on my grinder. I'm running it at a medium speed. This is a little bit of a worn Blaze. The Blaze belts I found to be extremely good. They last for a very long time, and they cut and hog material off a lot faster than most of the other belts that I've used. The blue zirconia belts, they're not bad either. They're a lot better than your standard aluminum oxide belt, but the Blaze last quite a bit longer than these blue belts. The Blaze do cost more, but in my opinion, well worth the extra money to buy in my opinion, a superior product. Now obviously the Blaze are great for hogging material off, but your other belts, like your aluminum oxides, they come in higher grits, and I use quite a few of those for various grinding procedures after I get all the everything roughed out. But I've got my pattern traced onto my blade here, which it probably won't show up in the camera very well, but basically I'm just going to go and lightly grind away everything that's outside of my traced in pattern, and some of that's also going to be by eye. I do have my pattern handy to compare against if I need to double check, but I'll also be fine-tuning things by eye as well as I grind. So I'm going to go ahead and grind the profile on this knife, and then from there we'll start working on grinding the flats of the blade of the ricasso here, and then drop in our beveling. Alright, now I'll switch over to my small wheel attachment and knock in the finger choil and round this over, and we should be pretty close to our final pattern. Alrighty, there we go with the rough profile. I just need to touch up Ricasso there a little bit, and then the profile's rough ground in. And as you can see with the template there, it's pretty darn close. So the next step is going to be grinding in and truing up the flats of the blade on the Ricasso, and then actually start grinding in the beveling. Alright, so I've got a pair of vice grips here that I grabbed the end of the tang with. This just helps keep this hand free from this top wheel of the belt that loves to eat knuckles. So I'm going to hold this and actually linear grind the flats of the blade in on either side, and the goal is to create a nice uniform thickness with parallel faces here on the Ricasso. After I get that established, then I can go ahead and start grinding in the beveling. Alright, so as you can see, I've got flats of the blade established. You can see where my hammered in beveling has gone. I've developed a nice parallel surfaces between these two faces, with the edge roughly centered in the middle. So the next step is going to be to actually start dropping in the plunge cut and grinding in the beveling.